Hi everybody, Paul Cameron here from SpeedUpMyJobSearch.com with a clip from our monthly jobs-driven networking group, which meets every third Thursday. Let's take a look.
Being a tech recruiter and understanding software development, the secret to me understanding applicant tracking systems is that I picked up the phone and called my software developers that I had previously recruited, some of the best doctorate level thing kind of developers, and I'm going, hey, explain to me why this works. They're saying I can't have underlines. Why can't I have underlines? They're like, you can have underlines. And so, and having them explain this and break it down, and then really getting into the code. When I was a software development recruiter, I started studying computer code so I could learn to speak developer. One of the pet peeves from highly technical people is that recruiters call them and can't have intelligent conversations with them about the job. So do you really understand what they do? The only way I knew how to really understand what they do is I jumped on University of Michigan site. They had some free software development classes. I started taking Python classes and front-end technology classes, and just to understand enough code that I can either break a system really well or at least have a good conversation about them. So that led to me pursuing, when I entered the coaching force and started hearing all of this information about ATSs, I was kind of blown away, and it didn't settle well in my spirit from having used the systems on the other side. I've used Fieldglass, I've used Taleo, I have JobDiva, I've used all of these different systems, PC Recruiter and Top Echelon System. I've seen it, I haven't used it, but there's a lot of ATS options out there and a little bit different workflow from an applicant tracking system or a recruiting software system. So there's just some differences there. So I want to show you some back-end code on how this applicant tracking system is actually parsing out, show you what works, what will break the system instantly, and then we'll kind of go from there. But I want you to know I've tested this probably 20 different ways, and just to see, do margins break it, do italics? And the answer is, if we keep it simple, we're going to be just fine. So Paul, if it's okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Yep.
This is about the data and the science behind resume writing. Think about this. If we had 1,100 pieces of paper and we're sorting it, yes, no, and maybe. Yes gets a phone call, no goes in the trash, and maybe means I have questions about your experience that are not answered on your resume, and I would have to talk to you to get those answered. I'm only calling maybe if yes doesn't work. So when you're not hearing anything back in the digital black hole, you're in the maybe pile, meaning your resume did not answer all of the questions that they had for you. No gets a rejection email, yes gets an interview, maybe gets nothing. JSON is a common, it's a JavaScript-based language. It's common on a lot of websites. This is probably in modern technology the most common parser that we're going to see. And then you have some that are Excel tables. Usually you can tell because it's very, very basic. Your FEMA websites, your government websites, it's going to look a little bit more outdated. It's going to have kind of an antiquated feel to it, but that's going to be an Excel, a table-driven resume parser with powerful formulas written into it, and it is not fancy at all, but it is powerful, okay? This is XML code. It is clean. It looks for predefined fields. It's text-driven. It's simple resume kind of style. And notice how everything is just very, very laid out. You're going to see fields here, not as they appear on my resume, but as it runs this parsing script, it's saying, okay, do you have an email address? Do you have these identifiers? Do you have documents? Do you have, it was 100% complete? Was there a processing error? No, there was not. The JSON code is a little bit harder to read, but it's more robust. Okay, so what you're looking for when you see this kind of /n, it's telling it like new, right? It's a new line. And so they're parsing it out. It's saying my work history, but you're gonna look for kind of words that you recognize. So null means that it didn't find anything, like my apartment number. I don't live in an apartment, so it's not gonna find that. This is a Microsoft parser. It's clean, it's simple. It just parses it out here, and it has the file name, my name. It has my email address, my phone number, It has, notice it's looking for a website. So LinkedIn did not break the system. It also had a place for my date of birth. I didn't put that in there, and my address. When the ATS doesn't work, notice how this code is all garbled. What caused this was a picture. So pictures and icons on your resume do not work in the ATS. This is what broke this code, is that it was an image. Okay. So that was the one thing that I will tell you completely jarbled the entire code, was both pictures and icons. It just didn't know what to do with it. To me, one of the biggest challenges in the ATS is that you have no idea which system they're using. And the ATS companies are really they keep this close to the vest. So there's a ton of factors to keep in mind. So what I try to do is pull a format that works for every system, and not, if it triggers an error in any system, I take it out. Tables trigger an error in JSON code. They can work with XML, not well, but they can work. And of course they can work with Excel parsing, but they don't always do well. So I think it's just important to kind of keep it clean, use text-driven resumes that don't violate any of the three systems. So let's talk fact versus fiction hyperlinks. Notice this section is labeled websites. It is looking for a website. So your GitHub, relevant. Your portfolio online, relevant. Include them. It's not going to throw out the ATS. I've yet to see an ATS parser that cannot handle it. Okay. Also, your email address hyperlinks won't break it. You can have it hyperlink back to where they can just click on it and send you an email. And this actually will save the recruiter time when they can just click that button and it goes straight into their Outlook. Remember that job description is your question. The resume is a direct answer to those questions. Recruiters are working fast. The requirements on recruiters who are working in agencies are really, really intense. So understand they're going quickly. They are matching nouns, not verbs or adjectives. And this is kind of a secret of the trade, guys. When we go do a Boolean search for you, we are looking for nouns 99% of the time. And so I'm looking for software. I'm looking for job titles, departments, industries, methodologies, and acronyms. XML skill matching. I want you to notice some things here. Python is on there. I'm not truly a Python developer. I don't know C programming at all. The reason it's on there is pulling from the part where I said I recruited Java developers and Python developers and Go developers. So it's pulling, but it found that skill anywhere on that text. And now it's pulling it into the skill section. XML parsing does the best job of pulling everything. And so just know it may match some skills that you are not qualified for. You may get some calls outside of that. The other thing I want you to notice, there's a trick that I teach where you use a similar to analogy. So InVision, where I have that on my resume is Canva. And because I want to showcase this, if I'm applying for a job, I know Canva, they're requiring InVision, and I know the differences and similarities between the two. I can put Canva and in parentheses, put similar to InVision. I don't indicate that I know something I don't, and I get through the ATS so I can have that conversation. It is now my responsibility to be able to speak to the similarities and differences. So similar to worked in this case. I use a manual scorecard. I actually did this as a recruiter. When I was learning to sift through resumes, I would make a list. Here's everything that's required. They want a maximum, they want 10 years. Okay, the max points here are 10. Agile, the max points are 10 because they're looking for 10 years. Degree required, maximum points, yes. 1 point for yes, 0 points for no. They want financial industry experience. 1 point for yes, 0 points for no. PMP preferred. So because it's preferred, it makes you a stronger candidate if you have it. So I give 2 points for that. And then I go through the score to see, okay, you have 8 out of 10. I can present, as a recruiter, I can present a 75% case. So if you say, to Paul's point, hey, you'll never find that. You know what? I'm going to get closer. But because of your attitude, I can't present you as closer because you've actually drawn a line in the sand here. That means if I put you in front of them, you're going to tell them how they need to run their company, and nobody wants that.
I hope that was helpful for you, and please check out the rest of our YouTube channel for more tips and strategies to help you with your job search. I'd love to meet you at the next one, so I hope you can make it. Thanks for watching.